between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Milltek Sport Civic Cup round 1 here at Brands Hatch. My name is Daniel Handover and joining me in the commentary box as always is the fantastic Mr. Dave Marshall. Dave, how are you doing this evening?
Doing very well, cheers for that, Dan. Yeah, really exciting this, isn't it? Brand new championship, brand new car model, and the majority of the grid completely brand new to us as well.
Exactly, very, very true. It's going to be fantastic. Love a bit of touring car action. We've seen this before in these previous VRRC championships, and yeah, some touring car action never goes amiss. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, as you can see on the screen, Brands Hatch GP circuit, something that doesn't necessarily get used too much, especially in modern day motorsport. However, a fantastic track nevertheless. And obviously, as we all know, has seen in previous years the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula One. A very, very fast track, Dave, this one is. There's no real sort of, I suppose, the slowest corner would be Druid's turn 2. So, yeah, these guys are going to have to be watching out for, I suppose, tyre management's a very, very key thing here. Yeah,
exactly that. You know, it's Druid's the hairpin second corner on the track. Always a bit infamous with a bit of argy-bargy at the start of a race, even in real life. But after that, yeah, there's not much let off, is there? You know, getting to that back section of the track, it's very, very fast. But, you know, that's great for these cars. You know, these Civics, they're based on a British touring car. They're super stable. The suspension is phenomenal. You know, inboard suspension, massive brakes on them. These cars are properly hooked up when you get it on a lap.
They are indeed. They are indeed. And yeah, I think we don't want to be fair. The Civic cars we're actually going to see in a moment. They're the older generation, but still, I mean, probably one of my favourite touring cars. They're really, really good fun to watch. And yeah, I've seen these cars actually race in real life. I've been to several touring car events, and they're fantastic to watch. So seeing over 15 of them out on track, especially at a track like this, is going to be fantastic. And as we can see here, this is the calendar. Okay, so if you do want to get involved, do head over to virtualrealityracingclub.co.uk, I believe it is, Dave, if you would like to enter. But we've got, like I said, a fantastic grid and hoping to see more moving forward.
Yeah, we've got nearly a full grid, and as you can see, you know, we've got some great prizes as well. You know, we're doing cash prizes for this championship, so who doesn't want a bit more money at this time in COVID, unfortunately.
Well, this is very, very true. And what better way to try and obtain it? You know, we've got
exactly.
It's just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Brands Hatch, Alton Park, Donington National, and Snetterton, the 300 laps, obviously with the new, or the slightly new, I say new, it's actually probably quite old now, it's probably 10, 12 years old, is the new infield section, as would be. One of my personal favourites also as well. So we're not going any farther afield, so we are staying within the UK for this series. But we do have some sponsors as well that I would like to very quickly go over, as you can see. So we have the main sponsor as well, Maximum Maximum Networks, a team of experts with a heritage in technology, media, and telecommunications. Achieving, they've been absolutely fantastic in the year growth. They've just year-on-year growth has been absolutely fantastic. In today's complex business communications, they provide as much clarity as absolutely possible in what they do. It's absolutely fantastic to see. And also as well, Milltek Sports, obviously we know Milltek, the leader in exhaust systems for a growing series of cars. They're just never ending in the expansion. So it's absolutely fantastic to have both sponsors with us and both partners on board for this series, as well as, obviously, Dave, this is obviously being sponsored, being headed as well by the official Civic Cup series.
It is indeed, we just saw it on screen there, the Maximum car driven by Finley, who is actually the son of Stuart Lyons, who is one of the main people behind the Civic Cup. So it's great to see Finley in his championship. I believe Stuart might tell us off for this. I believe he's 9 years old, I think. So it's great to have such a young person on the grid. And he is not slow. I tell you that now. He's definitely up there in the lap time. So definitely want to watch out for the race, Dan.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people, to be fair, as well, Dave, we've got to be looking out for. Obviously we're going to be running through those. We've got a few special notes. We've got a mixture of, obviously, as you said, we've got some sim drive, we've got some real world drivers as well. So all in all, a very spread out grid, and it's going to be pretty good fun indeed. And I can't quite wait. Qualifying not too far until we do get underway. But yeah, Brands Hatch. I have spent countless times at Brands Hatch sitting, I don't know about you, Dave, but sitting on Paddock Hill Bend on the grandstand right at the top. And I remember this because I used to go every single year because it was on my birthday weekend. The first round of the British Touring Car Championship, Paddock Hill Bend at the top of the grandstand, you can see the entire Indy circuit. And it was just absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of my favourite circuits of all time.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, Brands Hatch is a really long way from where I am at the moment. I haven't been to Brands Hatch to unfortunately spectate, but I have been lucky enough to drive it and also spin it in turn one. So, yeah, I've definitely found the limits of Brands Hatch fairly quickly.
Well, I mean, to be fair, obviously, Dave, you drive these cars quite a lot, so you do a lot of testing with these cars, and obviously you're one of the brains behind actually making sure these cars are obviously able to drive. You one of the people that helps with these championships. What was the appeal, or what's the appeal like from your perspective in terms of touring car? This is a slightly different car. It just gives you that different sense of, I've driven it in other sims, but this just gives you it's something different about it. I always find with this sort of touring car, especially with the Civic. It's just something different about it. Yeah,
so I always think this car lends itself to really good racing. The car is really quite stable, even from a base setup. Obviously, it's a fixed setup, so the setup's already been applied for all the drivers. Everyone is driving exactly the same machinery. It's basically a full test of the driver, but regarding the racecraft, everyone thinks it's all well and good having a super Larry car that's a bit of a handful to drive, but in a race scenario when you're on the grid with 20 drivers, having a car that's actually quite safe and secure there really helps with the racing side of stuff. Great spectacle, even closer racing than normal, and this should really close the lap times up regarding the overall grid.
It would do, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I have to admit, I do like we've just been told we've got a couple of minutes to qualifying, so I can't wait. I really, really can't wait. But yeah, it's something that this fixed series as well, I really, really enjoy, because that everyone is on the same playing field. Everyone's on a level playing field. It is simply who can perform the best out of that particular car on that particular day. It's another great thing about these sort of fixed one series and also fixed setup series, is it provides potential for people to maybe suit maybe one track better and suit another track better. You think a lot of these tracks are very different. You've got Snetterton as an example. You've got a really lot of tight sort of like medium to low speed corners in the infield section compared to Brands, where you've got obviously more medium speed corners. So different tracks, regardless of whether it's the same setup or not, do suit potentially different drivers, which is another, big thing, which is really going to shake the series up, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Brands Hatch is always one of them tracks where, to me, it's not as technical. It's all about just flat out having the commitment to turn in and the amount of speed you roll. As we see that back straight there where the bridge goes over on screen now, that right-hand corner that goes out behind the trees, that's top end of fifth gear in these cars. You're literally flat out down that straight, sixth gear, about 25% of throttle, downshift, and then straight back on it around the right. So what we're talking there, Dan, 120, 130 mile an hour. And I tell you what, when you bumper to bumper, that is really quick through there.
I tell you what, I can imagine. I've driven the Indy circuit in real life. Done a couple of test days of the Indy circuit, and I think Paddock Hill Bend, that's scary enough, even obviously when the track falls away from you. But something like Hawthorne Bend, as you said, the end of the straight, you're doing 120, 130 miles an hour. That is, you've got to be committed. I think that's the word we're going to be using quite a lot in this championship, let alone just this race as well. Commitment is the key thing.
And the other thing, Dan, as well, is drivers are really going to have to remember here, in the race, if they're a bumper to bumper, you've obviously got the difference in speed there, the slipstream. Going into that corner, it's that fast and they're probably that used to not following a car there. You go into there with that speed differential, and we could really see drivers get caught out there with the difference in speed.
Well, yeah, this is also as well. We spoke about this before, and we spoke about it in previous championships. Is I suppose when you really look at it, is the overspeed that can be carried through into corners. So yeah, that's something absolutely drivers have got to watch out for. So at the end of the day, it's not just as simple as people think. It's much more than that. It's so much more than that. You've got to be so careful because, yeah, as you say, bumper to bumper, there's so many different things that can go. Also as well, you do lose a bit of aero at the front. These cars don't generate too much aero, but still aero nevertheless, that if you are behind someone, that does get removed and that will go. So that is something that people do have to watch out for as we've got through. Just on board everyone for their outlap qualifying finally underway with Kletzer currently on your screen now. Dave, we also do have a couple of obviously real world drivers, one of which obviously as we just saw before, and he's actually just in front of Kletzer at the moment, is Senna Proctor.
He is indeed. Basically Senna Proctor signed up very late entry. I believe it was Saturday or Sunday he signed up for it. And he says, you know what, Dave, I fancy a bit of this. Fixed setup, slightly less stress on him regarding getting the car set up for an event. He tends to be a driver who likes to just turn up and just sort of drive it for the talent that he actually has. And yeah, what better thing to jump in a touring car, a platform that he's very much used to. And yeah, he could be a real danger man for this championship.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, first flying lap, as you can see, going through there. Oh, that's a great camera shot. I love an onboard camera shot there. That's very cool as well. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of those as well. Mike Yao providing fantastic broadcast coverage, as always. It's great to have him on board. I'm actually just noticed as well, and this is a really weird thing. It's such a small thing. It looks like looks like it's been modeled as a Stilo helmet as well, which I really... I don't know why I've noticed that, but there we are.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot. I've got a steel on myself. So
exactly the same.
The fact that you pointed out, but I'm going to put you on the spot here, Dan. Before any times go on the board, who is the driver that you reckon's going pole?
Oh, Proctor. I'd put as a.
You're putting Proctor on the line.
I'd put Proctor on the line purely because again, you think of the experience. Although actually, I'd even go so far as to go a top three.
Right. Okay.
I reckon the top three. So I'm going to go. That's really put myself. I'm going to go Proctor, Zelos, and Walters.
I'm going to say Elliott, Proctor, Walters. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Difference in the top three, but let's see what happens.
Exactly. We haven't got too far. Look at that. Ryan Elliott's just put into P2 with Cook currently. Oh, look at that logo on there, the bright yellow logo. Oh, it's fantastic. Nice to see. So this is Edward Civil, chap that came to me and obviously asked if I wanted to sponsor his car, which obviously I gladly accepted. So great to see Ed currently out on track, going through, as we can see, just going through the Paddock Hill Bend. He is currently, he's P2 at the moment. So if you can crack on with that, that'll be fantastic. Obviously, we've got a few more cars to go through at the moment. 11 minutes left to go. That is Finley Lines as well. It goes P6. The 9-year-old doing very good indeed for his first flying lap. Obviously, he'll have one more to go. That is all right. That's going to go into P2. Walters, look at that, 28.536. The times are flying in now. Bolton, he's now gone into P7. So yeah, times are really coming in thick and fast here. But yeah, Zelos, look at that. Only a 10.5 in it at this moment in time. And obviously we have got a few more things to go. Bugler, that is 128.4. So another, I tell you what, Dave, we've seen this before. We're going to see it again. This is going to be close.
You know what? Scott Bergner, I maybe should have put him in my top three. But there's another point here that I'm actually forgetting about, which, we're 15 minutes into quali here. That front left tyre really takes a big abusing round here. So you only really get 2 properly flying laps on these tyres as long as you look after them on the outlap. If you don't look after them on the outlap, they're probably only good for 1 lap. So these drivers, they're going to have to be really smart with the strategy when they come in the pits, whether they leave themselves with enough time to go out in the quali. As we see, Senna Proctor, as we called, a 28-1, sitting currently pole.
He is indeed just under 3/10 clear of Bergner. So, yeah, that is the time to beat. Although we've still got 10 minutes left. We've still got 10 minutes left. Anything can happen. We have seen that very much in the past, and I'm sure we will be seeing it again. Look at that. So, Finley Lines, he's now into P10. So the top 3 at the moment is Proctor, Bergner, and Walters. Dan Zelos is just sitting out of that by just under, or just over a 10th, I should say. Looking further down the field, as we've got currently on your screen, Hugo Cook in P12. Just going through that, he's going through into Hawthorne. Look at the Mittman going through there. What you'll find as well, and Dave, you can probably back me up on this, is for people that are watching, you'll potentially find, especially where you'll be on board, you might be able to hear the engine note. They'll be feathering the throttle, almost trying to manage the front end and how much sort of almost controlling the understeer via the throttle. I'm sure, Dave, like, so you'll back me up and say that is one of the things that you do have to do with these cars, but that's generally front-wheel drive cars as a general rule of thumb.
Yeah, so these cars are actually quite strange regarding the power delivery and the way they sort of build up. I've noticed how early you can get on the power. So we're going to see Hugo Cook here come across the line. You go through turn 1 and then up into the hairpin at Druids. And you can get on the power probably a car to a car and a half length before you would think you can in the front wheel drive. The turbos are really quite lazy in these cars and take really quite a while to warm up. So that's one of the big keys. But you sort of want to warm that turbo up soon enough. So we're maybe costing 20% throttle on sort of to build on an exit of a corner. But that also helps load the diff up and really aid that traction for a front wheel drive car.
Okay, interesting. Well, there we go. We've got a bit of insight there going through into the race. Just going to have a look down as well. We've got some people on chat as well. So I'm just going to have a quick chat here and just see who's on. So we do have. It's the Double D's dream team on comps tonight from Amy Roberts. Thank you, Amy. I'm glad that you're excited to. I
think that's a first, isn't it, Dan?
And there we go. That's yeah. Well, thank you very much, Amy. I'm glad that you're happy to have us back for some more commentary. Who else have we got here? So we've got RS Racing saying good luck, Robin Walters. Well, at the moment, Robin Walters sitting in P2, a 10th and a half just behind Proctor. This is getting very, very close indeed. We've got LW Racing saying go on Harry Threlfall. We've also got Carl Alden. Is the Civic available for download? Dave, that'll be one for you at this moment in time. I don't believe it is.
I don't believe it is, no. I don't believe it is. It's for the race series. But yeah, I'm just looking there. Look at the state of Dan Zelos' car. It's sort of a cross between a polka dot and a zebra style, isn't it? But it's definitely bold, so at least we'll be able to spot him on the grid.
It's a look at Ryan Elliott. Look at that, as we've just seen Ryan Elliott just go across the line. So 1:27.931, just over 2/10 clear of Senna Proctor at this moment in time. Very, very good stuff indeed. So, yeah, this is going to be close. Although Senna Proctor, look, he's going to come down. He's going to come down through the start-finish line. Where is he going to do? This is an out lap, actually, I've just been told. So ignore me. We're going to move swiftly on from that. And he's going to start his second or his first flying lap when the tyres are warm. You can see a lot of curve it's taken, the compression going through Paddock Hill Bend. I've experienced that in real life. It is terrifying the first time you do it, and there's no way to ease yourself into Paddock Hill Bend. What you do is you look at it, you have to go out on track and you sit there, you cannot see the entry of the corner at all, and you have to pitch the car in and let it happen and sort of adjust halfway down. But there's no way to ease yourself into it, you just sort of do it and then scream as you go all the way down and then back up. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I love Brands Hatch. It provides such good racing. I do actually remember going through, hopefully we're not going to see a repeat of this actually in the sim world, but I do remember seeing, I believe, Dave, I don't know if you followed touring car too much, but it was a good few years ago now. I just vaguely remember Jason Plato, not really, well, I mean, I'm not sure what happened, but it didn't look like he actually braked going through into Druids. I remember Matt Neal was in front of him and then wasn't in front of him. I vaguely remember that going into Druids one time at the top of Paddock Hill Bend. You can just see all of that happening. Yeah, that was one of my fondest memories for some reason of watching touring cars. I think it was like the first or second time I ever went.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of British touring cars, obviously, and even world touring cars. And yeah, seeing JP and Matt Neal wasn't exactly a unregular occurrence, was it, Dan? So it didn't matter that was brands. That could have been Snetterton, Croft, or wherever. There was always a bit
could
of
have been on the way there.
between them. Yeah, true.
It could have been on the way there. We got Mick Sutton. He's going to go through on to another lap. So he goes up in P14 with a 130.113. Currently now on the board with Scott Banner. Drops down a gear going through, and that is Westfield Bend. He's going to go through into Dingledale, then coming through Sheen's Curve. Pitches the car in, doesn't change down. So again, using probably the torque of what you've got available. With obviously they're a bit late in delivery, but you can probably use that to your advantage in some respects as well. Dropping down a gear. Actually, I think he was on a lap. So on a lap, warming his tyres up, ready for, because to be fair, what, 2/10, less than 2/10, and then he's up into a podium position. So yeah, that's not a lot of time. And somewhere like here, I think, Dave, it's easy to make. To be fair, you can lose or gain time pretty much everywhere relatively easily. If you're committed, though, like I said, that's the main thing, is being committed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw a little curveball here. So I found, especially on the back section, I was talking about the turbo takes quite a while to sort of warm up, if you like. It's got quite a lot of lag. Basically, if you commit the full throttle, but then left foot brake while keeping the throttle on, it keeps boost pressure, so that it gets the front end, takes the speed off. But as you're driving out the corner, you've still got 100% power. If you find a driver's coasting round and lifting off too much, by the time they get back on the power, they've lost, not quite half a tenth, but a little bit of that performance from the engine that you really need to get to extract absolutely everything out of the car.
Interesting stuff. Interesting. To be fair, I've seen that before. I was with a chap that I raced with, Matt Richards. I was actually racing with him alongside his teammate in an MG touring car, and it was a very similar thing. You almost want to use it to keep that boost up. So I didn't realise that was the same thing. Well, there we go. You learn something new every day. Collected there currently on board. He is on your screen. Sorry, he's P11, 1.9 seconds off the leader as well, but not too far away. Again, less than a tenth from a top 10 position. Harry Omrod. He is currently going in the pits with some fresh set of tyres. To be fair, he probably should get another. He should get another lap in. I'm sure.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, but he will get one in. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Look at Edward Sybil as well. A stellar performance from him at this moment in time from P7. Currently P7. I believe he is on a flying lap at the moment. Very, very. Oh, I love it. Fixed track pan cameras are absolutely fantastic. I really, really do love them as well. This is Ed's first championship. Obviously, I speak with Ed quite a lot. This is Ed's first championship with VRRC. And like I said, at the moment in time, qualifying, he's doing very, very well. He seems to have really settled in with the car, which is absolutely fantastic. He's spit of flames there going through Westfield there as he goes through down into Dingledale, then up through Sheen's Curve. A lot of elevation change as well going through Brands Hatch. It's one of the things you've got to watch out for as well, because the track does sometimes fall away from you, and also the track sometimes comes to you quite quickly as well. So you do get a sort of bit of sense of, sometimes you have a bit more grip going through into Paddock Hill Bend, obviously less grip because the track falls away. So for a relatively simple in terms of corner complexity, Dave, there's actually a lot going on here, especially with the elevation change. There's quite a lot more going on than I think people sometimes first realise. Yeah, so as I said before, for all it isn't really that technical of a track, the speed alone adds the technical side of it. You've got to look really quite far ahead and be really quite sort of controlling with the car, if you like, really turning in when you need it to, and not being too lazy with the car, because you're slightly lazy around some of these back sections and you're going to miss an apex by a good car length. Very true indeed. But at the closing stage of the first round, everyone seems to be, we haven't really had too many incidents in qualifying, so people seem to be keeping it all in check. As we got through that is Kenny Press, currently in P8. Very good, respectable performance from him at the moment. Currently just under 4 tenths off. So the top 7 separated by under a second. So we're like Brands, again, that's probably not a lot of time. We may see some gaps opening relatively quickly, but at the moment, the top 3, look at that. It's still Elliott's, and with Proctor, the gap is less than a tenth of a second, 3/4 of a tenth of a second. In fact, what is Kenny Press going to do here? Is he going to improve? Currently on his P8. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to find out in a few moments. That was an outlap, I've just been told as well. Apologies. Harry Threlford, he is currently in P17. He's going to be going through that as Hawthorne again. Whether he's on an outlap or not, he may very well be on an outlap also. We're going to find out. That's quite a different graphic, isn't it, Dan? It's quite a different graphic on the car. It looks quite sort of Aussie V8 style, if you like, with the sort of the strip up through the middle. It does, I have to admit. Oh. That's a small bit of grass cutting there from as we go through. Yeah, no. To be fair, I do. I do like looking at liveries. I always take inspiration from liveries as well. I'm sort of, if I'm designing liveries for myself. So yes, I mean, to be fair, one thing that maybe again, the Red Bull style camo livery of Dan Zelos's car always definitely is something to you can't miss it, can you? Really?
No, it makes our job easy, doesn't it?
It does. Speaking of Dan Zelos, there he is. Yeah, it's a car that you definitely aren't going to miss. It's almost like a high visibility jacket without being high vis.
Yeah, he's managed to actually make the car look like almost like a Seat Leon while it's actually a Civic.
He does, yeah, he does. But to be fair, speaking of high visibility jackets, Robin Walters' car was definitely wearing one then, as we could see that. But qualifying has indeed finished. Oberon, he's just gone into P4, so Bergner, he's now dropped down to P5. What is Dan Zelos going to do? Because then this is it. Lap have ended. So that's Walters, so he's claimed P3 at this moment in time. He can't do another lap. Oberon obviously in P4. Bergner's actually finished in P5, so he's not going to improve. But look at that, Senna Proctor. Is he going to? He's got one more lap, and so is Ryan, and so is Elliott. So are these two going to actually improve anymore? We're going to find out in a few moments' time. Ryan Elliott decides he's not, so he's jumped in the pit. So the only man...
Dan Zelos has improved. He's now up to 4th place.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, absolutely. You are indeed correct there, Dave. So Dan Zelos up into P4. What is Proctor going to do? He is pretty much the last person that can take pole position away from Elliott. Is he going to do it? He comes around the corner. Nope. Clark careful that he doesn't. He decides against it. So look at that. Right. So Elliott takes pole position. The only last person currently on track, I believe, is Finley Lynd. Is he going to make an improvement on P15? He hasn't actually got much time to make up. To be fair, if he makes up a 10, he'll go up into P13. So what is he going to do through here? He's just going to come down on the Bramham Straight, and he crosses the line. And I don't believe he improves. No, he does not. So look at that. Ryan Elliott does take pole position. And to be fair, I believe we have Ryan Elliott in the commentary box, ready to be interviewed already, Dave.
Wow, doesn't hang around, does he?
He doesn't know.
I'll jump down there now.
Sounds good.
And we'll go to round 1 pole setter. Going towards in the first race, Ryan Elliott. That was an easy enough pole, wasn't it?
Wouldn't quite say easy. it feels weird seeing me on pole, to be honest. I'm not known for my qualifying performances, but I'm well chuffed with that. And I knew that I had the pace to be right up there, and I was just relying on getting that one good lap in, and that's all I needed apparently.
Yeah, so was it really quite a good lap? Was it really hooked up, or did you feel like you had a little bit left in the tank there on that lap?
Plenty left in the tank, if I'm going to be honest. Brands GP is known for being quite a technical, undulating track, so it was quite hard to put it all together. I mean, in my last 2 attempts, I could see a 10th in my delta, but just wasn't able to maximise it. But at least I got the pole. That's all I'm bothered about. Really good performance. Thanks to the boys from Mad for Mini for this. It's good to be at the top end again.
So regarding the start of the race, that's really nice to hear. Regarding the start of the race, you've got Senna Proctor right hot on your heels. Tactics in race 1, are you planning to work with him, or do you reckon it's going to be a defensive drive from the start? Because Senna's sort of driving style, really. He's come from touring cars, and he's definitely not one for sitting back, is he?
Yeah, and I know Senna has got the pace. He just didn't quite get the perfect lap. I mean, he's been the fastest guy today, really. So I just need to I'm going to try initially just focus on my own race, get through the first lap and see where I'm at. I don't want to just drive an entirely defensive race. It'd be good to work with him. I get along with Senna quite well. He's a good lad. I know he'll want to get his head down and have a good race with me. So just looking forward to it. It feels good to be setting off P1.
Well, you deserved it, Ryan. You're on pole there. You've put the lap in. So good luck for race 1. I'll let you get your head down ready for the race. And good luck, and let's hope it goes okay.
Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll be talking to you in 20 odd minutes time again.
Hopefully so, Ryan. Cheers for that. There we go, Dan. Confident. He's on pole. He got the job done. He wants to be there at the end of the race, doesn't he? So I believe we might have lost Dan for a second there. I queued up a question there and didn't quite get the response.
Apologies, we are back.
Oh, he's back there.
We're
there
back.
He is indeed.
we're back. Apologies. Yes, so sorry, I'm just going to quickly go through that again. So yeah, I think to be fair, Elliot quietly confident there, wasn't he? He was. I said quietly confident. You could tell.
Quite loudly confident.
Yeah, you could tell. He definitely had. He knows he's got some more pace in the car, which is obviously fantastic. But he does know as well that Senna is just behind him, so he's got to be careful. Just going through, the chat is going absolutely wild. We've got lots of hashtag Mitch Sutton for the win, hashtag Scott for the win. We've got Derek Rudenberg saying go Sybil. We've got also Will Money saying good luck Ed Sybil number 177. So we've got the Positivity Racing guys with us, which is fantastic to see. Rebecca Dawson saying Ryan back where he belongs on pole. Well done. We've got David Bucky that says good luck. So we got everyone. We got everyone. This is fantastic. We also got Dave Jones who says good evening. So good evening to you, Dave. Hoping you are very well, and you've just come in time for round one. And sorry, apologies. You've just come in time for race one. Oh, this is going to be good fun. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. We haven't got too long before we will be. Before we will be getting underway. You can see at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, we've got the camera in camera. So Ryan Elliott on the right-hand side, and then we do have the aerial viewers who just had a role reversal. So main camera is on. We'll see you going through into Paddock Hill Bend. But this is going to be very, very close. Ryan Elliott needs to make sure that he gets a clean run going through into turn one. So all importantly, managing the start here. Front wheel drive, you've got a lot of power going through to the front wheels. If the turbo kicks at the wrong point, you're going to be spinning up and not actually going to be going anywhere.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Elliott's actually probably got, for all he's slightly further forward, he's got the harder grid slot. You know, you can see the undulation there as he was talking about, right down at the inside of the bank, whereas Senna Proctor is still high up. So for Ryan to get up and defend that line, you know, it's going to be a lot harder job really to get the bite of the clutch.
Indeed, very, very true. And like I said, not going to be too long until we find out how Elliott does. As we see there, the lights are just on your screen now. They're going to be coming on in a few moments' time, and we are going to get underway. There we go. The lights come on for round one of the Civic Cup, Milltek Sport Civic Cup round one at Brands Hatch GP. Lights are on, and they go. And off we are. Oh, there was someone there that didn't move at all going through. You just saw on the bottom right corner of your screen. But at the moment, that is Elliott. Gets a mega start going through. That's Walters and Proctor the very side by side. But Walters, I think, is going to be in P2. Yes, he is. So Walters at the moment currently in P2. So Proctor's dropped down to P3. Is he going to try and make a move around the outside? Going to turn two. There's a bit of contact there. A bit more contact from everyone there. This is what we see from touring cars. This is pretty standard stuff. So no harm, no foul there. But Proctor does make it back through into turn two. He managed to hold it around the outside of Druids. And then going through into Graham Hill, turn three, he manages to stick it up the inside. And he is now back into P2. Oh, there's a bit of movement down there. That was something, not too entirely sure who that was. That could be, that was actually Zelos, I think, potentially defending from Orod, who decided he wanted to have a bit of a go. But look at the gap. Elliott's already pulled out a 1.3 second gap. Are we going to see any more moves? We've just seen in the bottom right corner of your screen, that is Hughes getting past Bolton there as well. So we've got a nice aerial shot there. You can see going through the Hawthorne Bend. So there we are. We've got actually Ed Sybil currently on the main screen as well. He's still in P7, so he's doing a very, very good at this moment in time. Currently riding on board with Sybil now going through into Sheen Curve. How does he fare here? Tyres are a bit cold. He's got to be careful with the tyres as much. Obviously, the front end, it's very rare to lose the rear end when the front wheel drive car when the tyres are cold. We've still got to be careful about the front end that's not pushing. We've got loads more movement coming through on the left-hand timing tower, as you can see there. So I think we had Luff drop a few positions. He's dropped one more. But look at that mix. Sutton. Oh, he's gone a bit wide going through. That's the last corner Clark curve. He's gone very wide, through wide. I don't even know what happened there. Oh dear, that someone got off. Who was that? That was Bolton, I think. Oh no, that's not good. Bolton lost out massively there. And he's dropped down. I think that was three cars trying to go into one spot that was never going to work in a million years, but Sutton gets hung out to drive by. Hughes going through. When I say that, Hughes has gone wide, so he retakes the position back. Threlfall has decided that he's going to send it up the inside, and he's now jumped two positions. But as I say that, no, Mick Sutton proves me wrong, and he now goes back into P12. Oh my goodness, Dave, I can't keep up.
Yeah, well, this position, it's too early to say now, but you've got to remember P12, it's a reverse grid. This really matters for who gets pole in the second race.
Absolutely true. Sorry, going through into Surtees, that is Mick Sutton, so he's still in P12, so he's taken right and leading that train, that four-way battle. So look at that, Sutton, the two Threlfall brothers, and then Hughes and Bolton. That's going to be a bit of, that was side by side. That was Threlfall and Hughes. but I think no position there. That's a brave move going into Hawthorn. You've got to be careful there. But Mark Hughes, he wants to get past, doesn't he? He is raring to go, because I think he wants to have another crack at Threlfall and Sutton. He's going to go through. Is he going to go through into Clark, into Sheens? Kurt?
Oh,
I think he is.
Move.
That's a brave move, but he doesn't find it too much. No, actually, he's gone a little bit too wide into there. He goes too deep. And look at that. So Threlfall decides, thank you very much. He's just going to push back. He actually lifted off there. You can see that. I don't think he didn't fight it too much. And wise that he didn't, because almost like he had a sixth sense that he knew that Hughes was actually going to go forward too fast into that corner. Dan Zelos, that only at the moment. Look at Dan Zelos comparatively on his own at this point in time. He's pretty much just sitting there running his own race.
He is indeed. I mean, I'm quite gobsmacked at how clean the start of that race actually was there. I mean, there wasn't really that much collisions at all, but yet it was really frantic, wasn't it? We were struggling to even keep position of who was where, but yeah, great start by Ryan. This is exactly what he needed for the start of the race. He's pulled a 1.5 second gap at the moment over Proctor. As we see there, Mark Hughes getting involved again, I believe with Threlfall. As he gets through on the inside again, this is going to be a great battle to keep following this, Dan, throughout the race.
It is indeed, yes, a battle for P13, but still a battle nevertheless. It's fantastic to watch. These guys are absolutely scrapping it out. All that was, I thought it was going to be a little bit wide there for Hughes, but he managed to keep it all in check. Going through down the back straight into Hawthorn Bend again for, I believe this will be the fourth time. He goes a bit defensive there, don't think he really needs to, but he simply goes back onto the racing line and off he goes. Spit of flames there from both cars at the same time. Almost, actually looking at that though, it may have been that potentially Threlfall was actually lifting off a little bit. The gap has opened up half a second, so I think Hughes, if he can break this toe at the moment, he is pulling away. The gap is just gone to 0.6 of a second. But a great battle. I wonder if we can see that develop further. That was very, very wide there through Threlfall, utilising all of the track available to it, and potentially just a little bit more. Dan Zelos, though, look at that. He is getting ever closer to Bugnat. I wonder what's going to happen here. This is going to be a battle that's going to be hotting up. We've seen Dan Zelos perform we're actually seeing him, he's racing in the TT Cup as well, which is happening tomorrow. So, and we know what's going to happen here. He's going to try and go, he's going to try and go on the outside, going through into Druid. He doesn't, he thinks better of it, but he's going to try and do the cutback. Bergner, he's now had to go on the defensive. Is it going to be a cutback going to go through into Surtees? I wonder if there is. Can he get the traction? Dan Zelos gets a good run, but it's not enough. Bergner does get a better run than him at the moment, although Dan Zelos decides that he wants to make the move. And I think unless there's going to be some challenge for, that was a bit of contact there. We see Bergner, he's going to get the run coming down through the back straight into Hawthorn Bend. This is going to be a mega battle going to go through, but I think Dan Zelos, he's just ahead enough as we see Bergner put on the lights trying to distract Zelos, but at the moment he doesn't quite manage to do that. And Dan Zelos does take provisional P4 at this moment in time.
Yeah, it was a great little battle going on there. Just showing the real respect that the drivers got between themselves. What I am noticing was Proctor last lap did fastest lap of the race, so he is trying to make moves on Ryan Elliott here. But I haven't touched on it yet. But that front left, really gets destroyed around here. So any driver that seemed to be sort of pushing it too early on in the race might really struggle in the closing stages. So be interested to see how Ryan monitors the pace that he's setting, and whether or not that's going to become a factor later on.
Well, this is very, very true. This is very true. Time management, it's ever so key. So yeah, like I said, to be fair, Elliott, he's got the gap down. Actually, the gap was 1.5, it's now 1.4. So yeah, he may have used his tyres up quite early, but at the moment, Proctor may be using his tyres up at this moment in time. But that was someone going very, very wide into Paddock Hill Bend. I believe that was Umarod. This is going to be a three-way battle as well. This is a three-way battle. We've got Umarod that's going to go, going to try and get past by Love. He doesn't quite manage it. So Mike Love, he stays behind at the moment. So Umarod still secures P8 at this moment in time, but he is being. At the moment, he's trying to harass Kletzer, trying to get past, but can't quite do it at the moment. So Matt Love does, at the moment, bide his time, I think, which is I think what Matt needs to do at this moment in time. He just needs to bide his time, let these guys battle out and see if he can just slip up the inside if a move is potentially made. Because, I mean, the action that we've seen, we've still got 13 minutes left, so there's going to be a lot more battles going through, I am absolutely sure. Seems to have dropped off the pack a little bit, though, so I wonder as well, yeah, he might just be, again, conserving his tyres. This is one of the things that he really wants to do. Conserve his tyres, maybe let the guys ahead, let them battle out, use up all of their tyres. So come the end of the race, he'll just be able to drive past purely because of that. His tyres are, the guys ahead will have no answer to him.
Yeah, so I think there's definitely something to be said for, at the start of the race, you got a little bit of nerves, you got a bit of jittery, you got the adrenaline going. You're not maybe driving the way you would normally drive when you're nice and relaxed. And when you're normally relaxed, you're normally a bit more you know, a lot smoother with the wheel, a bit more flown on the track. And always we see, I believe that's Harry Omerod, is it? Or Kenny Press who's ran wide. So that's promoted all the drivers in front up a position. And Finley Lines now is up into 9th place. 9-year-old and sitting 9th.
Well, there we go. Well, like I said, a very respectable drive from Finley Lines. We've still got one race to go from him. So fantastic stuff to him, to see from him at this moment in time. Looking forward to see what the reverse grid race brings. If he finishes where he is, he'll be, I believe, P3, which is going to be fantastic to watch. But look at that, Matt Love again, still biding his time from Omerod and Kletzer. The gaps opened up a little between those two as well, so about half a second. But yes, unfortunately, Kenny Press did lose out quite heavily there. Look at that, Ed Civil. He's going to have a move up the inside of Kenny Press. He thinks twice of it. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he has decided to back out and try and make a move going through into Hawthorne Bend. He's got the run. I think he's going to have a pace. If he can try and pull up the inside, I wonder if he can get the move done, although Kenny Press has got a bit of a toe from that ears. Sutton in front of him, so he does think twice. He can't make a move at this moment in time. Didn't quite carry enough speed going through. Again, Sybil may actually let these guys battle out if the gap can close up. Although as that, he's looking very, very racy. I think he may want to get past Kenny Press as soon as possible, and then on the hunt down for Sutton and Lines. He obviously dropped down. We saw him in P7, and unfortunately now he is in P12, so not the best performance. Unfortunately, like I said, a small little incident obviously somewhere along the line, but he's definitely got 4 cars in his sight. He's going to try and go already on the defense, already on the attacking line, going through into Clark Curve. Again, thinks twice of it, so he's just probably trying to put his Kenny Press under as much pressure as he possibly can. Very, very using all of the curb. And well, look at that. We've got Kenny Press again utilising all of the track and a little bit more going to go through. But side by side into Paddock Bend for Press and Sutton. Who is going to come out on top? Here's Kenny Press. So look at that. To be honest, I don't think Mick Sutton actually really defended it too much. That was very, very close indeed. I think Edson will need a new race suit after that. He's going to try and get the inside of Druids. Is he going to make a stick? Yes, he does. And there's nothing at the moment that Kenny Press, that Mick Sutton can do. He's going to left to be hung out to dry. And yes, so look at that, Kenny Press up in the P10, Ed Sibbald up into P11. So not the best lap for Mick Sutton there.
Yeah, well, while that battle was going on, I was seeing whether Finley was going to manage to break that, use that battle between the behind the 3 to really get the gap. But unfortunately, Kenny Press got through really quite quickly and is already on the back of Finley here, whereas the other 2 squabbled, and you can see the amount of time that they've lost.
Oh, that was a very, very close move. Exactly as you say. So Press and Lines, these guys are really going to have a big battle at the moment. I thought that was going to be a move going through the Hawthorne Bend. That camera angle looked like it was going to be a move made. We got on the back, on the roof of the car facing rearward of Finley Lines here with Kenny Press and Ed Sibbald not too far behind. Mick Sutton unfortunately has dropped off the pack just a little bit, but again, as soon as these guys start battling, that's going to close right up. So all of these drivers wanting, obviously supposed to be fair, the only driver that doesn't want these people to overtake is obviously Finley Lines himself. He's going to be wanting to be keeping these guys behind as much as he can, and he is successfully doing that at this moment in time. Just under 10 minutes to go, but look at that, Kenny Press, he's had a poor exit, going to go through onto Brabham Straight. So Ed Sibbald is going to move up. Is he going to make a move into Paddock Bend? Yes, he does. What a move going through there. To be fair, I think Kenny Press again didn't really defend it too much, trying to potentially get the cut back, but at the moment he's done what he needs to do. Ed Sibbald, he's going to have to go defensive because obviously Kenny Press is right there. He's not going to want to give that position up. But I think he's just ahead enough that no move is going to be made here. Not even a touring car lunge will be able to close that gap up, Dave.
No, I definitely don't think so. Definitely not down in Grey Mill Bend. I'm just noticing this battle here between Ryan Elliott and Senna Proctor is really starting to close down. Last lap, Senna Proctor was 0.3 of a lap faster than Ryan Elliott. So interesting to know whether that was a mistake there or whether this is a case of Ryan Elliott's tyres really starting to go off.
Yeah, exactly. I think Elliott is really. I think Ryan Elliott's tyres are really starting to go. But look at that back on with Ed Sibbald. He's still in P10. He's hunted down Finley Lines. So maybe as well, actually thinking about it, maybe Kenny Press let him by, didn't really defend too much, saying, go on then, Ed, you have a crack at Finley Lines, see if you can get past and he'll just follow him through. Who knows what these tactics these guys have. It's always worth the experimentation and giving stuff a go. But yeah, look at that Ed Sibbald in P10. He's closing the gap up. So if you know, look at that Ormerod. He's got past Kletzer. We've just seen on the screen the time and town on the left-hand side. You can see that. So the move has been made. So Ormerod, he is now up into P6. Ed Sibbald has actually got past Finley. Oh, I say he got past Finley Lines for a brief moment, then decides against it. He's going to try and do the cutback. He's going to try it, but I think Finley Lines, he's going to defend the inside off. Yes, he does. Bit of contact there as well. So Finley Lines driving in the middle of the track. pretty much where he needs to go. Oh, this is going to be so close. Ed Sibbald, he's been hung out to dry a little bit now. I thought it was actually going to be on the outside as well, but that was very close indeed. That definitely looked like there was some contact. Oh no, that was contact with Finney Lyons and Ed Sibbald. He manages to keep it. Look at that, well saved by Finney Lyons. Boot full of power, brings the car straight. Unfortunately, has lost out to Ed Sibbald. But yeah, Finney Lyons is now under pressure from Kenny Press, who's going to want to get through. So he's going to want to try and capitalise on that as much as he possibly can, but can't quite do it through Graham Hill Bend. Wow, that was, yes, Dave, that was an interesting 3 corners. That a lot of action happened there.
It was massively, and I believe that was Matt Luff facing the wrong way out of Graham Hill Bend as well. So that, even though Finney lost that position, he's actually back up to 9th due to Matt dropping down. The thing I'm noticing here is, Finney's actually, he got a little bash there into Druids. I believe the other driver was probably enough up the inside to have the job done, and Finney just came across a little bit. But it's a really mature drive so far. He came down to Graham Hill Bend after that huge collision and still showed great racing respect down at the Graham Hill Bend. So fair play.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's really good to see from Finney Lyons. But look at that, the battle raging on for the lead here. Proctor is on the back bumper of Elliott. Definitely something that Elliott did not want to see, especially with 6 minutes left, plus 1 more lap. This is the key thing. So the all-important last lap could very well be the difference between first and second for both of these drivers. But picture in pictures, we've got on the bottom right corner of the screen a battle for the lead, Elliott and Proctor, with this is Sutton and Hughes going to go for... Oh, no, that was contact there. Is he going to save it? He tries to save it. To be fair, Hughes, best of a bad situation there. That was a bit unfortunate. I think Sutton decided that a car, almost like the car was actually going to disappear. The move was obviously done. They were completely side by side. I think Sutton may have just misjudged where he thought Hughes' car was. And unfortunately, Hughes, potentially with some irreparable damage, has unfortunately, by the looks of it, retired. Bit of a shame there. So the first retirement of this race with 5.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, I don't know whether Mick thought he was going to get back up the inside going into turn 1 there and try and get the undercut, but yeah, it was just a very miscalculated move, that, and I imagine Hughes will not be happy with that move at all.
Not in the slightest. I would 100% agree with you there, Dave, but a battle as we go through here. Proctor still can't quite find a way past. Again, he could just be managing his tyres here. I wonder if he's going to try and save them up for the last 3 or 4 laps, but at the moment, that was very close. Elliott very early in the brakes. His tyres must be, I don't know, could his tyres be completely gone? He's having to brake what seems like very early indeed. So Proctor decided he's going to try around the outside. Is he going to get a cut back? No, at the moment he's still side by side with Elliott. Going to go through into Graham Hill Bend. He doesn't quite make the move. Bit sideways on the grass there. I say sideways, no, there's front-wheel drive cars, Dan. On the grass, both of these drivers utilising, as they're driving these cars, to 110%. But I think at the moment, the person on the back foot, it was Ryan Elliott, as he goes a little bit wide, going through into Surtees on the back straight, trying to maximise, I suppose. May have been trying to do a bit of a cutback, squaring the corner off a bit more, something you can do in front-wheel drive cars, to try and maximise the run going through down into Hawthorne Bend, but doesn't quite make the move. I think, he did. He was trying to square the corner off, to be fair, Dave, and it did pay off for him that particular lap. It
did indeed. I mean, this battle is going to be really intense, isn't it? Senna is hungry for this win, and Ryan Elliott is as much. Ryan won't want to throw this pole away, and the gap he managed to open up at the start of the race, he'd be thinking, I probably had that in the bag, and I don't know whether it's the tyres that's gone off or Senna's gone. I'm not letting him get away with this that easy, and really putting the pressure on now. So this is definitely going to be a battle that's going to go all the way to the line.
It is indeed. Speaking of another battle that's going to go all the way to the line, this is one again between Sibbald and Kletzer. Look at that. That was side by side going through Hawthorne Bend. Fantastic racing from these guys. Just about left enough room. But there's just action absolutely everywhere. So yeah, look at that. Sibbald still can't quite get past Kletzer at this moment in time, but I'm sure he's not too far away. He's actually going to try and go through. That was going through into Sterling's, into the second to last corner, but still can't quite make a move past. Look at that. So Proctor still can't get past Elliott. So Elliott's driving a mega defensive race. Really good stuff from him at the moment. Obviously, at the moment, Elliott definitely on the back foot here because he is being obviously hunted down. So Proctor's sitting there just almost controlling the pace. He's almost driving Elliott to essentially just to drive faster, so using more of his tyres up. So he's definitely on the front foot here in these closing stages of the race. That's a car off. Not entirely sure who that was. That is actually Hughes still. I think there's off, but look at that. Ed Sibbald's going to go up the inside of Druids. He makes the move 6, so he's back up into P7. Again, not much defensive manoeuvres there from Kletzer, so potentially already knew that move was going to happen sooner rather than later and settled for P8 instead of trying to fight and potentially obviously allow Lyons and Press to catch up. So potentially strategic there as well. Also well with the reverse grid. So currently that's one more position for the reverse grid that Kletz will be on Sybil. So that's one thing also to watch out for. How these guys are using. Oh, that's a bit wide for Senna. Proxy would have lost a little bit of time going through there. So the gap is just under. It's actually just about to tick over to 0.3 of a second. There it is on the timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen. But at the moment, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. And Senna Proctor still can't quite find a way past Ryan Elliott. This is going to be a fight to the finish. And if there's that extra lap, I don't think Elliott's going to want the extra lap, is he, Dave?
Yeah, it's great to watch, isn't it? I mean, obviously Ryan is no stranger to the esports. He's a big name when it comes to the Mini E-Series. And he had a bit of a nickname in there that I think either me or the commentators gave. I believe it was probably me in the driver's lounge when we were just having a bit of chit-chat. And I gave him the nickname Lord Hadrian because when he puts up his wall, there's not many places to get past.
I like that. That's quite good. So, Lord Hadrian, are we going to call Elliott from now on? Well, to be fair, at the moment, he's doing exactly what he needs to do because, Proctor just can't quite find the way past. The gap has actually extended a little bit to 0.4, actually just under 0.5 of a second, as we can see there, and it's extending ever further. So maybe Elliott's found a little bit more pace, or again, what you might find as well, this is what some drivers do, both in real life and the sim, what you'll find is they may drop off a little bit and then almost allow the tyres to cool down a bit and then try and pull back up the pace. I mean, to be fair, he's timed it pretty much perfectly. Any later, and it may not have been beneficial. But he just backed off enough, and I think now he's going to try and come back. You can actually see the gap has already come down 0.1 of a second. So this could be the last chance that Proctor has, the last fight to the finish for race 1 of the Civic Cup here at Brands Hatch, brought to you by Civic Cup and Virtual Reality Racing Club. Both absolutely fantastic. This is going to be the move Proctor's going to make. He's going to try and go around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. Doesn't quite make the move stick. Again, Elliott just putting his car exactly where it needs to be, but that's going to put him out of sorts. He's going to have to go defensive. Completely almost like deja vu here. So we're going to go through. Proctor going to try and go around the outside again. Can't quite make it. That was a bit of contact there again. Touring car style. We have seen that all the time before. We're going to see it yet again. I'm so sure this is not going to be the end of the contact that we have seen. Bit of run this race, and it's what we do like. But again, Elliott, that was very, very close indeed. He just can't quite find a way past. He's just putting his car exactly where it needs to be, driving pretty much in the middle of the track. Again, a bit more contact there. So Proctor was just pushing him along the remaining 2 laps that we've got here. And there we are. Timing has ticked down. So we're going to have 1 more lap after this. And then that is going to be it. But it's going to go to, is Proctor going to go on the outside of Hawthorne Bend? Oh my goodness, is he going to do it? He's going to try to. They get a bit more contact. They're going to have no body panels straight by the end of this race, aren't they, Dave? And it's just, it's another side-by-side. I literally, these camera angles, sometimes they really sort of, they almost make it look like there's going to be some side-by-side action. There again.
There it is.
Elliott. And I think that is it. Proctor, if he holds it, going to go through into Sheen's curve, which he does indeed, just about leaves enough room. Look at that. Proctor with 1 more lap to go takes Ryan Elliott for currently leading. But look at Robin Walters. The gap has come down. I don't think it's going to be enough. Although, as I say that, Proctor's now going to have to defend from Elliott. Going to go through into the last corner. They're going to go side by side again. Oh my goodness, who is going to be coming up? Bear in mind, we've got 1 more lap of this, and the gap to Walters has come down to 0.6 of a second. If they keep battling like this, Walters may just slip up the inside and claim the victory if they keep going on like this.
My God, that was a lap to re-watch, that wasn't it? But the battle is definitely not over yet. I just wonder whether Senna, with chasing that hard, is used even more tyre than Ryan, and Ryan's car just seems a little bit more switched on than Senna's at the moment. But yeah, Robin is looking at this thing and, if there's an error here, I'm in with a chance here.
Absolutely. Well, look at that. What was just sitting there till you guys crack on? We've got to see the onboard shot on the right-hand corner of your screen, bottom right. Look at that. He's just sitting there going, you crack on, guys. I'm just going to sit here and wait for something to happen. I think, though, yes, potentially what you were saying there, I think we saw Proctor. He came back. He obviously got into position, so he did what he needed to do. He pulled back, allowed the car to cool down a bit, allowed the tyres to cool down, and then off he went again. But look at that, Elliott has just pulled that gap out to 0.6 of a second. So I think the one chance that Proctor had, he gave it a good go. But again, Elliott just decided, nope, not going to give up the position that easily. And obviously he is still in provisional. He's still in the race lead for the moment. Half a lap to go as we are on the final. As you can see, the top of your screen, where in between the other side of the race lane, you see the white flags. As you can see there, 1 more corner left to go. The gap has actually come down. It's 0.3 of a second. Is there going to be a drag race to the line? If Proctor can actually try and get a good run coming out of Clark Curve, is there going to be? Now, I don't think there is, but we're not too sure. Anything can happen yet. The gap's come down to 0.2 of a second. Is it going to be a drag race to the line? It's going to be close, but not close enough. And look at that, Ryan Elliott takes race 1 victory here for the Civic Cup. Oh my goodness, look at that. So Elliott first, Proctor second, Walters third, Dan Zelos in fourth, again running pretty much his own race for the majority of it. Oh my goodness, look at that. Ormerod, he's going to come home in P6 on his own, on his lonesome again, and for the latter half of this race. Kenny Press has actually taken Finney Lyons, who looks like he may have had a bit of an off. Oh no, Finney Lyons, look at that, he's dropping down the order. He's just gone from 9th to 11th, so that's promoted Press and Sutton up. Oh no, oh dear, that looks to be coming out of, I think that might be Westfield. I think that potentially is Westfield that he looks to have spun off on. What a shame. That's not good at all. Not good at all. But oh my goodness. What? I can't wait. That's just, I literally can barely breathe.
Well, you know, if I'm honest, I'm gutted for Finley. I really hope that wasn't a car-to-car collision. And to be fair, I also hope that wasn't just him losing control, because, you know, he did a great job to get up inside that top 10 from the off. So, yeah, it's a shame to see him in the wall, but what a drive that was.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. It's just, that was fantastic. You know, like I said, very, as you say, shame for Finley, but yeah, like I said, we've got one more race to go. So hopefully, that can be obviously something that Finley then starts to improve on moving forward. But I believe we do have some drivers to come to interview, Dave. And yeah, to be fair, I think I'm excited to hear what these guys have to say. It's going to be fantastic.
So am I. So we'll jump down to the interview booth. We'll go to our third place driver, Robin Walters. You nearly got a bite of that at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, it was looking that way. I think that's kind of what I was hoping for throughout the race. Really, I was urging Senna to catch Ryan, because I think it's the only way I had any chance to get anything better than third. So yeah, they got a bit racy at the end, so caught up, but yeah, just couldn't really do anything. Too far back.
Yeah, I mean, regarding the start, obviously it was a good start for you. It looked relatively clean. Would you say that, or you know, were you a bit sort of like, I wish I'd made a bit more progress? Or
the start was good, considering it was the first ever start. 0 practice starts, so yeah, that went quite well. Managed to get up the inside of centre, but yeah, you know, held on really tight all the way around, sort of first, second, third corner where he had the inside. So yeah, I had to sort of relinquish the position at that point. But yeah, it was a good start, and hope to replicate that in the next race. Oh,
good. Well, great race in race 1, and good luck going into race 2.
Hey.
And we'll go on our second place finisher, but only just Senna Proctor. Dear me, you nearly had it, and then it was slipped away by Ryan again, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, Robin was really fair with me the first couple of corners. He gave me plenty of space, so thanks to him for that. Yeah, I didn't want to pressure Ryan too early because I knew we were getting away, so we cracked on, and then I started really to attack him the last couple of laps, and I felt quicker. And then just as we came into the yellow flag area, his nose was ahead, so I had to relinquish the position and set up for second, but we'll see what we can do this race.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I believe it was a car stuck in the gravel on turn 1 was why there was the yellow flag there, which it's a shame that got involved in the race. But before then, go back and have a watch of that, boys, because that put a smile on my face. I'm sure it was a good battle to be on board.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. You know, I was really starting to apply the pressure. I was looking after my tyres, and then once it was just, you know, maybe one more lap would have been okay, but it was just really once I got close enough to work out where Ryan was weak, and the only place was the last corner leading into the yellow flag zone, so there was never really an opportunity, but I'll see if I can get my own back on him this race.
That's good to hear you, Senna. Good luck for race 2. We'll talk to you after, hopefully. And on to our first place finisher, Ryan Elliott. You put it on pole, you got the job done, a win in the first race, but Senna didn't make it easy for you, did he?
Oh, got a bit close towards the end, didn't I? I think I really need to improve my race pace. I haven't had an awful lot of time to test this car, so I haven't managed to do a race run, and it's all good being able to do it in quali, but I think Senna's race pace was well above mine. But like I say, I just managed to hold on, and I was lucky. I mean, Senna absolutely great battle with him. He was fair all the way through, and he understood. Obviously, it was a yellow flag zone, and I was in front. Takes a proper race, give away that position, even though it was for the lead. But yeah, just really happy with how it went.
It's definitely a race you want as a driver, isn't it? Where there's two really good fair drivers that you're battling hard against. It's what you race for, isn't it? Really. So, any tactics going into race 2? I mean, obviously Senna's quick. Are you going to work with him to try and get through the pack, or are you going to try and get past Senna to keep the advantage?
Well, the aim is to work with him. I got a cheeky little message on Facebook before the race from him saying to work together, go forward. So hopefully we'll just do the same again. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't. I think we'll be able to get right back to the front. Good lad. Should be able to crack on. But massive thank you to Mad for Money Motorsport as always, getting me here. Best team about.
Mega. Cheers for that, Ryan, and well done in race 1. And I'll let you get your head down for race 2.
Thank you.
No bother. And there we go, Dan. Three fair, happy boys there. The racing standards were really good, and I could tell them were definitely grinning during that battle, weren't they?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, that was fantastic. Like I said, from our perspective as well, it was just, fair play to Mike for keeping up with what was going on. There was a lot of action there. So that's been, some really, really good camera angles and everything. It's just fantastic. And yeah, we've got another race to go with a reverse grid of all things. Well, the top 12 being reversed. So we do have, as you can see, I'm just trying to think of the rundown we're going to see in but a few moments' time. Yeah, Ryan Elliott all the way down in P12, but obviously the grid reversed from that position. So this is going to spy things. If people thought there was action for this first race, wait till you see the second one. Because this is going to be something to watch. I can't wait. But the lights are on for round 2 here of the Milltek Sport Civic Cup. We're just about to get another way. Lights are on and away we go. That's a bit of a slow start there going through. I'm trying to think who that was on the inside. That's going to be, I'm trying to think as well. That is Harry as well going through. Oh, that's a very, very even start there. No bit of contact. They both save it. Oh my goodness, fair play. How on earth did they both save it? Not too sure, but that was both the Treffel brothers. They are going to go. Oh wow, this is so close. A bit more contact there as well. That was definitely no love lost between the two Treffel brothers there. That's Mick Sutton just got off. Having the exile of Druids. That's very, very unlucky to go through there. But side by side as well again for Harry. Oh my goodness, this is just action upon action upon action. But unfortunately, that is Harry Treffel that has definitely lost out to Dan Zelos as well. He's going to cut the inside. He's now into 4th already. That's Omar that he's going to go through. So the other, so that's Treffel as well. Currently in P3. That was a car off. I'm not too sure what that was. That was Proctor.
It was Proctor.
Proctor's gone off.
That's definitely a safety car.
That's okay. There we go. So you've heard it here first, everyone. You've heard it in first. The safety car has indeed been deployed. So we go 3 wide. That was a bit further back there. 3 wide. I'm not too sure how they're going to make it through there. Do they all make it through? No, they don't. That was someone off. I'm not entirely sure. But the safety car's been deployed. So we can see. Wow, that was Omar that's going to go sideways. Chap, safety car's been deployed. You need to back the pace off a little bit. Whoa, dear. That was something to behold. That was something definitely to... wow. So we're going to have Dave, obviously. He's just popped off. He's going to be going through and doing the safety car honours. So we're probably going to... Well, we've just been told. Dave, can you actually hear us? No. Oh, actually, no. I think we've just had a quick... Tried to have a chat with Dave, because he might obviously be doing safety car honours, but maybe able to hear us as well, but I don't think he will. So, no, that's fine. No problem at all. So we're going to go back on to Scott Bergner. He's gone into the pits. Not entirely sure why. Obviously, there's no sprint... there's no pit stops mandatory, but I wonder if he has to go in to repair some repair some damage as much as he can. Look at loads of drivers coming into the pit. I wonder if they're actually taking... Oh, this could be interesting. I wonder if they're actually maybe going on trying to get some more tyres, potentially. I mean, obviously, they've probably got some damage to repair, but I wonder if they are going to be repairing or trying to repair some of the damage as well as take cars. Look at that. Dave Marshall, look at that, with a high-visibility jacket of all cars on the Civic as well for the safety car, doing a stellar job. Hopefully, he doesn't go too wide and run off. I wonder if... he can't hear me, but... yeah, I hope there's no commentator's curse for the safety car. That wouldn't be very good, would it? I'd just like to say, what we put this safety car as well, big thank you as well to everyone that's been... big thank you to all the sponsors that we've got as well. It's been absolutely fantastic to have them coming forward and actually moving forward with this championship. It's going to be fantastic and can't wait to see more of them. So we've obviously got Milltek Sport as well, leading performance for performance exhaust, growing range of vehicles. Anything that you need for an exhaust system. Milltek are the people to go, as well as Maximum. Excuse me. We've got Maximum as well that is sponsoring us as well as sponsoring this series. Okay, so anything to do with technology, with everything you need, business communications, you name it, those guys are the people to go for. We've just been told as well, unfortunately, we've just had a bit of people are saying as well, Dave Marshall for the win. At the moment, Dave Marshall is currently winning. You are correct, on track position at least, but we just had a bit of a lag. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. We just had some lag. It seems to be all okay at the moment, but that was Omerod that's gone through. So yes, Omerod is, I say unfortunately, but Omerod is obviously not unfortunate at all for him. He's loving life, so he's now inherited the lead due to the lag. I'm trying to see what car that was, but at the moment, off we go. So Omerod is going to try and get the jump. He already has gone, and he has now... Well, the race is gone. The race is already gone. Look at that. We've got Sibbald up into P4, but Ryan Elliott is going to try and make the move. Going to go around the outside of Paddock Kilben. Is he going to try and do it? No, he thinks twice of it. Going to go through. He's going to get the cutback going through into Druid. He already makes the move stick. So Ed Sibbald going a little bit wide. So he's now got up. He's dropped down into P5. So yeah, look at that. Elliott's gone from G12. Wow, there's a bit of contact there. That was Zelos going to go through into Threlfall. I'm not too sure what Omerod is doing, but he's driving particularly what it seems to be a rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive car, which I don't understand how that works, but there we are. It's just completely sideways. He must have, to be fair, I'm guessing he doesn't have too much heat in the rear tyres at the moment, and neither does. That was, I believe, Threlfall that's had a bit of a moment here. He's now allowed Bergner to go through, so he's dropped another position. As well, we got Matt Luff that's going to in P14. Look at that, Alfie Threlfall. He is, at the moment, doing very, very well in P3. Currently being hunted down by Elliott, who is on a charge at the moment. Can he get 2 out of 2? I mean, to be fair, the main rival at the moment was Proctor, who is currently down in P16. So he's quite a way down the field, and look at that, he's already gone past. Look at that, he's already gone past Alfie Threlfall. So Ryan Elliott is already up into P3, and he's not got too far ahead. Going to go through. Dan Delos has gone up to the lead, actually, that I've just noted as well. So Omerod has actually gone, must be a little bit too wide. So Omerod is going to try and come back. Is he going to make the move stick? He's going to do for the cutback going through into the last corner down the Brabham Straight. I think, though. Oh, no, a little bit more lag. This could be potentially what we have seen before. A little bit more lag there for Omerod. Apologies for that on the screen at the moment. I was actually looking as well. His car seems to be crabbing quite heavily. I wonder if that is to do with lag or if that is actually irreparable. I mean, to be fair, if he's got chassis damage like that, that could be explain the reason why. And yes, Omerod does pull off. So that chassis damage was actually true. You see how much it was crabbing, which potentially was the reason why he was so tail happy going into turn 1 and going into the first 3 corners. So fair play for keeping it going as long as he could. Oh, that's Alfie Threlfall that's gone wide. He's allowed Ed Sibbald to put those. Ed Sibbald is now in a podium position, but Robin Walters not too far behind. He's going to. Oh, there's a bit of contact there from Threlfall and Walters, and I think Threlfall unfortunately was the person that lost out most of that. He's dropped down to P6 now with Kletzer. He's going to try and make a move. Is he going to get the run going through? I don't think he will do. Actually, as I say that, I might correct myself. Is he going to try the move going through into Hawthorne? He may very well do it. Has a bit of a look, decides against it. No, he doesn't actually doesn't decide against it. He couldn't probably quite get back onto the racing line quick enough. So Threlfall currently stays in P6 for this moment in time. Look at that centre Proctor. He's actually just set the fastest lap. He's 17 seconds back. He wasn't that far. He was definitely more than that behind. We just had Carlton say, blimey, loads of contact. I mean, to be fair, there is a lot of contact. These drivers, to be fair, again, while this is touring car-esque, we sometimes do expect touring cars. Guys got to be a little bit careful because they don't want to damage too much of their cars. That was, that's got better. That's not going to be a move that's going to be stuck there. So Sutton goes for the defensive. Wow, that was, I mean, a bit late, potentially a little bit late in the day, but at the same time, look at that down to your loss. The bottom line corner of your screen goes fastest, 1:28.483. Bergner is going to want to get past Mick Sutton again, going through the defensive. He's going to make Bergner going to go through round the outside of turn 1. Doesn't quite make the move stick going through turn 1, but he's going to have the move going up to turn 2. Is Sutton going to fight it? I don't think he can. And as I said, you don't think he can. He's going to try and keep it around the outside. He's going to be hung out to dry, I think, a little bit. Yes, Bergner, a little bit of contact there, but again, that's absolutely fine. And no move made from Mick Sutton. So that is, after all that, about 4 corners worth. That was Bergner does indeed take P10 off of Sutton. Kletzer moving up to P6 as well. Actually, I've been talking for way too long. David, we got you back. Sorry.
I did, but I didn't want to interrupt your flow. You were right in the rhythm there, and I wasn't just going to butt in for the sake of butting in. It was nice to hear that. So, full of action this has been, hasn't it, since the restart? So, absolutely frantic, really.
It is indeed. Oh, there's a bit more. So that was Collector that's gone wide. He's just allowed that's Lines and Threffel to go through. So Finney Lines, he's up into P7. A great job from him at the moment. Alfie Threffel, he's leading this train of what is going to quickly become as 5 or 6 car train behind him. So I mean, actually, as I said, probably Finney Lines is actually the person that's most in danger because there's a bit of a gap from Threffel and Lines, about 6/10, and then Harry, and then Cook and Kletzer behind is only about 4/10. So. Got to be a little bit careful. Look at that Scott Bogan. It's just a train. It's just one great big long Honda Civic touring car that we can see in front of him. And he's actually part of that train as well. Oh, he's going to try and go around the outside. This is going to be a very brave move. Actually, he's going to try and do the cutback going into turn 2 like we have seen before. This is a bit of contact there as well. Both drivers managed to keep it in the line, but there's going to be 3 wide going to go through into Druids. Oh my goodness, who is going to make it? There's a bit of contact there as well. A bit more contact. That was a bit of pinball wizard there from Cook that was getting involved in that. But to be fair, all drivers do manage to keep it in a straight line just about. So Kletzer, yeah, wow, that was a very, very good move indeed. Look at that, 2 positions in 1 corner. So Kletzer's now up at the P9. He's making a charge at the moment.
Yeah, and look at Finley go up into, is this P6 he's going past here? He's going to have a hard job here. Threffel's going to try and keep it around the outside, but that means Finley's going to try and go around the outside, around probably one of the fastest, most committed corners on the track. This is brave.
It is indeed brave. Who's going to come out on top? Oh, there's a bit more contact there, and that was Threffel that's come out on top, but this is not what he wanted because that is Bergner that's going to have a look through to the gap. Look at this, is a 7-car battle potentially at the rate that these guys are going to be fighting. No, bit wide there from Threffel. So he's going to, excuse me, I'm actually struggling to spit. I need a glass of water at this point. He's got a little bit wide going through Westfield. So now the gap and the order is completely switched around. So Finney Lines now takes back P6. Oh my goodness, and look at the train. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars because Mick Sutton is not far behind this train. So P6 to P12 is all potentially battling for, I mean, dare I say it, the top. I mean, look at this, the rate we're going, top 6. This is literally P12 to P6 could very well happen. We've got 10 minutes left of the race to go as it just crossed over the line. Oh my goodness, and we've still got halfway to go, and there's been so much action already. Oh, it's going to be more action going through. That's Bergner going to be going up the inside of Kletzer. Who is going to be the one that's going to come out on top? I think it is going to be Bergner if he can maintain that momentum. Yes, it is. Yeah. Look at that. So Bergner, great move going through there. He is the king of Druids at this point. Yeah, that was a great move. It was well set up, really early set up, and basically he put the car in the position where Kletzer went, you know what, I can't even defend that. He's put the car there. It's too late for me to do anything. Job's done. It is indeed. Job is absolutely done. You're right. Oh, look at this. This is going to be Walters on Sibbald. The battle for podium we haven't actually seen for the moment, but look at that. Ed Sibbald doesn't really defend too much, but as I said, he's actually done. Look at that. Wise move there from Ed Sibbald. Tried to get the cutback going through into Westfield. Doesn't quite make it worse. They're going to go down into Dingledale. Yet again, going to go very drastically upwards, going through into Sheen Curve, but that is right now. It does make the move. Robert Walters does make the move stick, and he is now into P3. Already having pulled half a second. That was a bit sideways though. That's really left the door open potentially for Ed Sibbald to come back. Is he going to try and move coming back? I don't know, but there's 3 wide going to go through into Sterling's the last time. That's a bit more contact behind there from Bergner and Kletzer. So there's no love lost between these two at the moment. So Finney Lines is still sitting there going, can you guys battle a little bit more so I can pull away? At the moment, these guys are actually adhering to what he wants, because the gap is opening up. That's 0.6 of a second. Look at that. Ed Sibbald is not letting Robin Walters go at all. He is sitting on his back bumper, putting him on as much pressure as he possibly can. And at the moment, like I said, Robin Walters, while he has got past, this is not saying he's not out of the woods yet. Yeah, and I'm just actually looking down in this bottom right corner battle, the Kletzer battle. You saw there, Kletzer went for a move on Findlay and a move on the car in front, and it's cost him 2 positions because the move was sort of half on, and if it didn't pay off, it was going to be a huge loss, and that's unfortunately what's happened. So that just shows how important it is that when you go for a move, exactly like what he's just done, as in Q, that you get the move, make it stick, and don't give the guy an opportunity to get the cutback. On Q, there's Cook trying to get now the cutback, and it's going to put round the outside. So this is not ideal for Kletzer. You know, he needs to try and get these moves where it's impossible for the guy to get a move back on him. Exactly. So yeah, as you say, Dave, Cook was proving you wrong there. Both drivers are proving you wrong, actually. Exactly. As you go, they can both hear you. You've obviously got live feeds into the comms box. Oh, that's a little bit. Oh dear, no, that's a bit wide from Kletzer. That was some more contact between Kletzer and Cook. That's not what we want to see. no harm, no foul. These both drivers are still going forward, but there's two sort of battles now that are broken up. So you've got Lyons and Bergner, and then Cook, Kletzer, and actually Mick Sutton's going to have a look at the inside. Look at that, potential side-by-side now going to go through between Kletzer. All bit of one-way moving, one way then the other from Cook there. He's got to be careful, he doesn't want to make too many moves. You can only realistically make one move, otherwise it gets a little bit dangerous. Oh no, there's a bit more contact, a bit more contact again. How these guys will keep it in a straight line, I have no idea. I know we're talking about touring cars with contact, but this is getting very, very dicey indeed. But all drivers, again, still managing to keep it in a straight line. So look at that. So Mick Sutton has now got past Kletzer. He's actually got past Cook as well. What a move going through there. Mick Sutton going to go through up into P8 now for these guys. Oh, a bit more contact. That's Lyons and Bergner. So Bergner has gone through. Oh, no, that's very, very close indeed. But they both managed. These guys are making some absolutely incredible saves. Oh, yeah, so look at that. So you've got now, Bergner has got through, and he has got past Lyons. The gap is now already 8/10 of a second. Oh dear, this is getting very, very dicey indeed. Look at that, Cook trying to go through. Look at Kletzer, he's gone, thank you very much, and he's now at the inside, and that's going to be some more. How are these guys? There's just enough space exactly for these cars that these drivers are leaving, and no more at all. Oh, that's going to be Cook. He's going to go up the inside. Look, what a move through there. He's going to try with the inside of Hawthorne. I think he's done it. Oh no, that's going to be Kletzer that's gone off. Oh dear, that was Kletzer that's gone off going through into Hawthorne, but that's now allowed. Who is that that's gone up the inside of everyone? That's Luff. Matt Luff has just decided that he's had enough. He wants to get a piece of this action, so he's now up into P8. That happened instantaneously.
That was a great move. That was like, all the drivers in front are battling, and he just comes through with about 20 miles an hour more speed up the inside of all of them, and job's done. But yeah, what I was talking about there about Bergner and Lyons. So we're seeing Bergner looking at his lap times. He's got a little bit more speed than Finley. So Finley there really needed to work with Bergner to get through and keep driving forward. Otherwise he'll get caught by the pack behind if they battle too hard. So hopefully things will sort themselves out. Hopefully Finley can get his head down, not look in his mirror too much and just go forward, because this pack is now fair riled up. They're hungry and they're not going to take any prisoners.
They're not. That is very, very true indeed. So yes, at the moment, to be fair, it all has opened up just a little now. So everyone's got a bit of breathing room, which is nice. Look at that. You've got Lyons, Luff, Sutton, Cook. It's all around the same, sort of like, well, you've got Sutton, the gap 7/10, then 6/10, then 5/10. Look at Dan Zelos, though. He is just checked out at this point. We haven't seen much track time. We haven't seen much screen time. To be fair, we don't need to. He's just running his own race at this point. 5 or under 5 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, this battle, it's amazing, isn't it, how this battle was, probably for 5, 6, 7 laps was just absolutely door to door. And now when you look at the timings, it's really spread out. It's amazing how quickly these sort of races can change. That's not to say they won't stay the same. We've got a bit more battling here. This is going to be Kletzer on, that is Threlfall. So these two, again, having a bit more battle. That's going to go through. He's actually, that's going through Sheens, I believe, and that was Threlfall that's got a little bit wide. Oh, no, that's not good indeed. Kletzer, I think, turned into a corner, expecting their no car to be there, and unfortunately Threlfall was.
Exactly that. Yeah. So you can see Kletzer there's not very happy about that, but I'm sure if you watch the replay back, he'll realise, the door wasn't open there for him to cut back across. As we see, Mick Sutton there's received a drive-through, I believe, for track limits. I might be wrong, but I would imagine that's what that penalty there's for. But yeah, so that's Kletzer just reacting a little bit. But I think if he watches the replay back, he'll go, actually, you know what? I probably cut that driver off a little bit too much, and I paid the price. It battered me up for it. But yeah, I think a lot of these drivers in the grid are probably fair thankful this is a sim race, and it's not costing thousands of pounds to fix these Civics up. In fact, I think probably some of these Civics probably wouldn't be going after some of these collisions. But yeah, as I said before, Dan Zelos, not a lot of stream time, but that's because he's that far out in front, and there's not really any dramas there. This is where the action's happening. Right down between sort of 7th and 12th place. It is absolutely on fire at the moment.
It is indeed. But look at that, Kletzer. He's trying to get back onto the back of Threlfall. That's a little bit wide there through Threlfall. He's now opened up that position. Kletzer's gone through. No contact this time around. And the number 43 of Kletzer does go back into a top 10 position. Coming through into the latter stages of the last final few laps of this race. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock. We've actually just had a few. We're going to be watching some messages. actually going to be coming through. Apologies if we have missed some messages from everyone. There's just so much action going on. It's very hard for us to keep up sometimes. So we do apologise. But wow. We're going to be having a look through some of these. Like I said, while we've got a bit of breathing room, let's go and have a look through some of these messages now, as I'm just going to just run it through. I mean, yeah, we're going to have a look. So we've got Dave Jones as well. So we've got Nicky Lines. Oh dear. So Finney ran out of fuel on the last lap. Oh no. Oh dear. So
That's really unfortunate. That is unfortunate. That's awful. Yeah.
I know. That is absolutely unfortunate. I mean, to be fair, at the moment, though, fantastic recovery drive for race 2. Really, really brought it back. And also, as well, Nicky Lines said he is so upset he has sacked his mechanic and Dad Stewart Lines. So there we go.
What a great character.
There's a bit of a light spin on the end of that comment, but no, it's a shame that something like that happens. Although, to be fair, this is one of the good things as well. It's all a learning curve. It's such a big learning curve. And like we said as well, for a 9-year-old to have, as you say, Dave, a very, very mature race, I think is the best way to put it. You hit the nail on the head there. Has just been fantastic. Like, it's been a really, really solid drive. And I mean, yeah, this is definitely something that's going to be. There's a lot of good things to come, I'm sure, from Finney Lines. I'm excited to see him for the remainder of the rounds. And yeah, this is to put him, I think, in a position of great confidence boost. Like I said, race 1, unfortunate. That's something to learn from, move on. But yeah, I mean, race 2 at the moment for him, absolutely fantastic. Really, really good stuff indeed. Look at that. So that's Mark Hughes, just on his own. he's just
a track there, isn't it?
He is. He's just on a tester. That's all he's doing. He's hot lapping at this point in time. And to be fair, he's hot lapping in 5th. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't mind hot lapping in 5th position at the moment. He's just running his own race. He's probably oblivious to what has been happening behind him, because obviously he's just running his own race. This is actually, I mean, this battle is actually hotting up. So we've got Matt Luff and Finley Lines in the closing stages of this race. I'm actually intrigued to see where Dan Zelos is on track. What is he going to do? Is there going to be one more lap after this, or is there going to be 2? Because this is the thing, obviously, depending on when Dan Zelos comes across the line. That was a bit wide there from Finley Lines, going to go through into Surtees. He does manage to keep it all in check. I believe, yeah, this is going to be the last lap. One more lap after this, and then that is it. And Dan Zelos, if he can keep it going for this lap, he is going to take what is a dominant victory for race 2 of this Civic Cup here. So at the moment, Matt Luff can't quite find a way past Finley Lines. When with one more lap to go, Phineas needs to do what he needs to do. Oh no, that was a bit, I think, to be fair, Matt Luff was not expecting Finley Lines just to check up as much as he did going through. That was Westfield, I believe, going to go through just after Hawthorne Bend. Just have a look at the track map. It was indeed. So yeah, unfortunately there, but Finley Lines could be maybe slightly offline. Wasn't expecting to trouble off as much speed as he did. Yeah, bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, that was a really strange collision. That was almost as if, Finley's tyres have properly gone off the wall, and he's having to slow the car down that much to get around the corners. And Matt Luff's tyres, maybe you've just looked after them a bit more, and his apex speed is a hell of a lot higher.
Indeed. But we've just had confirmation that this is the last lap. Look at that side by side. That's from Cook and Kletzer. And look at that, Kletzer now gets back into, or gets up into P8. So a good recovery drive, all things considered, from Kletzer at this moment in time on the last lap. Look at that, down Zilla. He's going to go through into Dingledale through for the finals. I love saying Dingledale. What a corner name, isn't it? What a corner name. Wait till Snetton, we got the bomb hole. It's fantastic. I love British corner names. It's brilliant. So yeah, going through into Stirling's for the final time. One more corner to go, and then Dan Zelos does take the race win for round 2. He's already celebrated. Look at that. I tell you what, that is some commitment, isn't it? That he is very, very. To be fair, it wasn't over, but to be fair, I think it now is. Look at that. Dan Zelos does take race 2 victory for the Civic Cup here at Brands Hatch for round 1. Ryan Elliott does take P2, with Robin Walters taking P3. So very good performances from from all 3 of those drivers. Look at that, Ed Sybil, what a stellar performance, taking P4. Go on, Ed, good stuff indeed, absolutely fantastic. I'm sure we'll be catching up with him after this stream has finished. Mark Hughes does take P5 with Bergner in P6, a couple of seconds behind, as you can see. Going through now, Scott Berger does take P6. Finley Lines, look at that. A great performance, a recovery drive, I think, definitely for round 1. I'm hoping that has definitely made up from his small little mishap in round 1. So look at that. Finley Lines takes P7. Kletzer in 8th. Cook in, that will be 9th, with Luff in 10th. Threlfall just about to come across the line in a few moments' time in 11th. Sutton 12th at this moment in time. And that is Bolton. And Proctor went up to P14. I mean, to be fair, with the laps that I saw from Proctor, very, very good stuff. It's just unfortunate what happened at the start. But yeah, to be fair, you can see just got one more corner to go, and then he will be. And I believe he's actually one of the... He is indeed. He's the last person, I believe, currently out on track. Everyone else behind is in the pits. So look at that. Senna Proctor does come across the line in P14.
With fastest lap as well. So there is an extra point, to be fair. He's crawled an extra point back, but that's not a race that, you know, Proctor will particularly want to remember. But it's only the start of the season. There's a long way to go yet. And, you know, you've seen how varied the grid can be.
Absolutely. Like I said, we all know this was going to be close, but we do have some drivers in the commentary box to interview today. I'll let you have a quick chat with everyone, and then we'll have to wrap up.
Yeah, no problem. So we'll jump down into the interview booth, and it was another third position for the big yellow taxi. Robin, quite race there towards the end.
How dare you call it a big yellow taxi? Cutting edge of design. Yeah, poor start actually. So I thought I was going to be in for a really tough race. But to be fair, as soon as Ryan got past me and I just stuck to his bumper, he would just carved a path where I managed to get past a few people just before the safety car was called into 7th. And sort of from there, just slowly clawed my way forwards and had a good race with Edward, I think it was. So yeah, not a bad result in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you came into this saying, you didn't have that much of an expectation, or you didn't know what to expect, and you hadn't had that much track time in the car. So to come away from a night with two third places, it's a great start to your championship.
Yeah, it is, and you're right, I wasn't expecting much. Even towards the end, I was catching Ryan a little bit, but the pessimist in me tells me that he was having a problem or he was coasting. I couldn't possibly be catching Ryan, so yeah, I wasn't expecting much.
Well, it's great to hear from you, Robin, and fantastic start to the season. So hopefully that continues going into round 2 for you.
Thanks, Dave.
And we'll go on to our P2 guy. Yeah, another quite a quiet performance, Ryan, but not at the start. It wasn't, was it? As we hear from Robin there.
I'm going to fill Robin with a bit of confidence. I was genuinely just slow, so he was doing a really good job, and he was properly catching me. Yeah. Good race overall. I mean, you can't be disappointed with a P2 from 12th really, but just a little bit of damage, like just couldn't get the car working like I did in the first one. I mean, I was 4/10 off what I was doing race pace in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to ask you that. It's obviously the first race of the championship. How much does damage impact it? I mean, you're saying it's cost you 4/10 of a second, but is that in turning or straight line performance, or a little bit of both? Or
honestly, just that tiny little bit of front end. Like when me and Senna were doing some race runs together, just messing about earlier, we noticed that these cars take quite heavy damage with quite a light tap. So when we were under the safety car and when we got back going, the current leader at the time was sort of lagging backwards and forwards and made contact with my car. So even though I didn't necessarily hit anybody, he hit me, caused the damage, and that's the only thing I can think of. But either way, I'm not here to make excuses. Dan drove a brilliant race. I'd like to think that our old karting team boss would be proud of us both right now, sitting 1-2 on the podium. So overall, quite happy with that. And I mean, I can assume I've come out with a championship lead, absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, provisionally championship lead out of round 1, and as I said to Robin, it's another great start to the championship for yourself. So good luck going into round 2, and we'll catch you up with you then, Ryan.
Yeah, spot on. Thank you very much, guys.
And on to our top spot, Dan Zelos. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting the pun, Dave. Definitely. I knew that was coming somewhere. First of all, I think we've got to put a massive shout out to VRRC. They've made an amazing championship that's, feeling really realistic as well. I mean, I've raced front-wheel drive cars in real life now for quite a few years, and for example, the damage, like Ryan mentioned, very realistic. You can race very closely to each other, just like in Tin Top Championships, at the top of the UK ladder. And again, the car really kind of goes off. Like, the car can change so much from the start of the race to the end. There's a lot more understeer at the end of the race, and you can kind of play a little bit with brake bias and things like that to make the car turn in. And you're always thinking when you go around the corners, how can I make this a little bit quicker? And you've got to almost adapt your driving style a little bit to keep the pace in the car. And I really enjoyed that race, and I'm really glad to have beat Ryan, because I knew he'd never let me beat it down if he dominated me all weekend. So I'm very happy for that.
No, it was a great start, and it's great to hear the feedback that it really is representative of real life, because I think sometimes it's too easy to get the cars in sim racing where they've got one pace and you keep lapping them lap after lap and they don't really change. So to have a car that you actually have to have a bit of racecraft with and sort of find the limit of the car and race it amongst a pack is really good to hear, especially from a driver with your sort of credentials and what you've driven. So that's great to hear. And we don't see a zebra car, more of a polka dot car for this event, but it makes you very easy to spot, and maybe we should consider that for your real life car.
I don't know if my sponsors would be so sure about that. I think it might put a few people off that are in front of me, though. That's maybe why I was able to get through the pack a little bit better. It might have made a little bit of a blur. But Rich put the livery together for me, and yeah, it's definitely eye-catching, that's for sure. Maybe it's going to be a bit of a trend in the future championships.
Well, it's great to hear you feeling done, and a fantastic start to the championship. A fourth place in the first place, and definitely a lot of pace there, and a lot of potential to go forward into round 2. So good luck for that, and we'll hopefully speak to you next week.
Well, I hope so too.
There we go, Dan.
And there we go, indeed, you are correct. Well, I'm just conscious of time there, Dev, but we're going to have to wrap up, unfortunately. But yeah, what an amazing race. What an amazing round 1. Both races, absolutely fantastic. I don't know about you, Dave, but I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think you definitely need to go and, have a bath or, catch your breath a little bit, because that race was, I've said this about other championships, but that was absolutely hectic, but for all the right reasons. There was collisions there, but I think it's fair to say the cars took it very well, and the driving standards on the whole were really good tonight. So, yeah, it's a great start to the championship, and I can't put my finger on it yet. Who is the driver to watch?
Oh, I don't. It's too early to call. It's absolutely too early to call. We really can't do that at this moment in time. Maybe next week. Maybe next week I think we'll have a bit more of an idea. But no, everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all on board with us for round 1 of the Civic Cup. Big thank you again to our sponsors. We have Maximum Networks and Milltek Sports. My name is Daniel Handover. Joining me and has been for a fantastic round 1 has been Dave Marshall in the commentary box. Mike Yao providing us some fantastic broadcast coverage as always. But yes, I cannot wait to get involved. If you would like to get involved as well, make sure you do head to virtualrealityracingclub.co.uk, I believe it is, Dave, to get involved with the more championships, the Discord server as well. And yeah, like I said, make sure you get involved. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But until next time, everyone, do make sure you take care and stay safe.
The inside of coats.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.